Kia ora tamariki mā. How are we today? Here I am with another story. And today's story is actually a beautiful story and I'm pleased to be reading it to you. It's called Wooden Arms by Sarah Johnson and illustrated by Scott Tulloch. And Scott Tulloch, he came to Cobham School not long ago, last year maybe, and he signed this book for us. A long time ago, there was a woman who lived all alone. Where the woman lived was a green country, a raw country where trees and ferns stood thick upon the land, and the spaces in between for sunlight were few. In time, a man joined the woman, and together they dreamed of a warm place where people would gather. So the man built a hall with sturdy wooden walls and a roof of tin to catch the silver drops that ran from the ferns when it rained. The woman had meant the hall to be round and proud like the sun, but when it was finished, she found it was a little bit squat and swayed, although still strong, like a moon that is halfway full. But inside, the hall was warm and welcoming, its walls folding all the way around like wooden arms. And when it rained, the drops on the roof were like the sing-song of mothers rocking their babies to sleep. So the woman and the man decided to stay, and with time people came. "No mai haramai," called the woman. "Welcome to our whare manakitanga." And there was much merriment and laughter, many meals and tales and dreams. Soon there were many people, too many for the little hall, so the people moved out and the woman and man with them. The hall was left behind, a little squat, a little swayed, all alone. The people did not go far. They made more spaces for sunlight, and a village grew up amongst the trees. In time, the village needed a church. The hall was a little squat and a little swayed to be a church, but the people liked the way the walls folded right around, beckoning people in. So they gave it a tall spire and windows like rainbows, and the tin roof thrummed and plinked in the rain, chiming in with the hymns that the people gathered to sing on stormy days. "Welcome to our church," thundered the parson, and once again there was much music and laughter, chatter and rain-filled song. In time there were so many people that a bigger church was needed. So the people left, taking their music with them, and for a short time the little hall was all alone. Until one day a cobbler, dodging puddles and smatters of rain, ducked inside the hall for shelter and decided to stay. By this time the village was a town and needed a shop where people could buy sturdy boots for working and walking, leather and laces, and fancy shoes for times when there was no work to be done. The little hall was a bit squat and a bit swayed for a store, but the cobbler liked the belfry, high and dry, perfect for hanging the tools of his trade. So the cobbler built a sheltering porch where people could wait for showers to pass, so they did not get their new shoes wet, and the hall refilled with plans and melody, stories and snatches of dreams. Benvenuto, laughed the cobbler. Welcome to my store. Yet, with time, so many people came for boots and polish that the cobbler needed a bigger store, and he too left. But the little hall was not alone. The town had grown to become a city, and a city needed a doctor. Huan Ying, welcome to my surgery. Then came a dressmaker, Swagat, welcome to my boutique. And then a dance school, Afiomai, welcome to my studio. But of course, as time went by, a bigger doctors, dressmakers, and dance school were one day needed. Once the dancing children had gone, the little hall stood empty for a very long time. By now the city was enormous, with docks and shops and industry that clanked and heaved late into the night. Many people came from far and wide to live and work, yet sometimes, despite all the press and bustle and noise, those new people felt very alone. Then one day a boy stepped into the little hall. The boy was from a far country, an old country, where the sun lay across the land like a hot cloak. The boy liked the way the hall was warm and welcoming, and he loved the speckles of light that dusted the air and floor, and the smell of leather that rose in the porch when it started to rain. So the boy brought his family and friends, and soon the hall was full of people from far away who needed a place to remember lands they had left behind. The hall may have been a bit squat and a bit swayed for a gathering place, but nobody noticed. The children loved the way the wooden walls followed them round and round as they spun to the music of the lands they had left behind. And the porch provided much needed shelter, as the people from faraway lands were not used to so much rain, and were often caught without their umbrellas. Welcome, 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 chorused the people, and once again the hall was full of laughter, tales, and song, and the beginnings of brand new dreams. With time, more people came from places far away, and the little hall grew too small. But the people from distant lands did not want to leave behind the hall, within whose arms they had found a new place to call home. So they built another, larger hall next door, and it too had walls that folded all the way around. Then at busy times the doors between the halls stood open, and the children flew from one to the other like birds, so the little hall was not alone. Yet still at quiet times the little hall creaked and sighed as it settled down, its walls gathering in upon themselves like wooden arms. And within were folded all the words and footsteps, the prayers and music, the dreams and dancing that had passed and were still to come. Then the rain thundered on the roof, or the sun shone, and the lozenges of light from the windows scattered across the floor like so many stars that have cast their light and decided to stay. Ko mutu whānau. What a beautiful story. That's how I feel about our kura, with its wooden arms. Beautiful. Ka kite anō.